640.
On the Spaceman, this is a view from space. It's AM 640 talk radio. You can email me at spaceman@640toronto.com or just simply space@640toronto.com. KT writes, "Hey, Space, listening to your show, I often see the occult connections to popular movies now, books, television shows. Remember the book Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Arthur Dent had a babel fish implanted in his ear in order that he could understand all languages in the universe. And that pretty much says it all of what Babylon, the Tower of Babel, really meant in the occult. It was their stairway to heaven. Now, as I said, this religious system is in its maturing stages right now with the globally accepted New Age movement and its major belief system actually drawn from ancient Babylonian witchcraft and magical systems. This, then, is the spirit of Babylon, and it is already infecting the minds of millions globally in one form or another, in guiding the planet into the one-world thinking in advance of the Antichrist's arrival, just as my emailer pointed out. He now sees the occult connections in popular movies, in books, and television shows, as I was saying, even commercials, where people are God, gods and goddesses. There's so many commercials like that now.
Sorry about that.
Where the human being
That's the public.
plays the role of God for 30 seconds. Pushing some sort of product. Heavily steeped in it. It's getting more and more and more. So you can't go through a day without getting hit with maybe 15, 20, 25, 30, sometimes 100 or more messages of this Babylonian witchcraft and magical belief system. That is the spirit of Babylon, and guiding the planet into this one world thinking and the one world religion that's coming. The belief that spiritual power can come from an individual outside of the true God through self-effort by so-called forces in nature or from the fallen spirits behind those same forces is all part of the mystery religion of Babylonian paganism. All world religious beliefs not founded on absolute truth have descended from mystery Babylon and can be described as religions of Babylonian paganism. So those who claim they aren't pagans because they are not witches or are witches and claim they aren't satanic simply don't understand the common root and source of all polytheistic and pantheistic beliefs that originated from the ancient Babylonian mystery religions dating back over 4,000 years ago by the fallen ones who infected mankind with such knowledge in the days of Jared from the summit of Mount Hermon. The third and final aspect or attribute of the Babylonian kingdom to rise is the physical kingdom of the Antichrist, whose own future kingdom of Babylon has in itself two aspects, the religious and the economic. These two seemingly opposed aspects may have been what was referred to in Daniel's prophecy when the archangel Gabriel told him these aspects are as iron mixed with clay. Now, while a mystery, that is the future Babylon, seems to be rooted in the Middle East, most will tell you that it is in the West where you can literally see how Babylon's paganism has fused into ancient Roman worship, past and even now today. The European Union, which was established by the Treaty of Rome, is without a doubt the ultimate fulfillment of the restored Roman Empire, with Europe's affinity to identify itself with Babylon. The European Union has even adopted symbols which are ancient symbols of Babylon. For example, outside the Council of Europe building in Brussels, the seat of government for the EU, stands a sculpture of a woman riding a bull, a representation of the Greek myth of Europa. This building is the nerve center of the EU, where laws are written by unelected men, only later to be rubber-stamped by the EU Parliament. Its new Parliament building opened too in Strasbourg, December of 2000, deliberately modeled on Bruegel's painting of the Tower of Babel. When asked by a journalist, why the Tower of Babel? You know what an EU official replied? What they failed to complete 3,000 years ago, we in Europe will finish now. It's as if they've taken the exact desire to build that Tower of Babel into the new millennium of the 21st century. A European Union promotional poster has a reproduction of the Tower of Babel with construction cranes above it, and the caption reads, "Many tongues, one voice." How about that? This coming satanic empire, therefore, whose own soul and spirit is taken from Babylon itself, and whose physical territories encompass modern Europe, will become the power base of a new world economic system as well as a one-world religion, calling their Antichrist, their leader, God himself. This is the mystery behind the Whore of Babylon. The author of Revelation's own prophetic vision into these future events were remarkably similar, yet even more detailed than Daniel's, as John was shown the Whore of Babylon, the religious system, riding the power of the Roman Empire, the beast that rules from the city on 7 hills, interpreted as Vatican City, Rome, the one city that throughout its history has never had any pretensions about her right to rule over the kings of the earth from her city upon 7 hills. After all, in ancient times it was the Pope who picked the king as God's representative on earth. The Pope was the kingmaker. Until, of course, the divine right of kings. The British kings, when asked, "Who said you were king?" the British king said, "God told me I'm to be king." No middleman required. In other words, no pope required to pick. That's power and wealth. The colossal wealth of the Vatican includes solid gold bullion, like probably worth trillions, stored within the Rothschild-controlled Bank of England and the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank. The Vatican whore also has enormous investments with the Rothschilds in Britain, with giant oil and weapons corporations like Shell, GE, among others. So, Revelation's global religious whore of Babylon aspect could be none other than Catholicism, originally formed by mixing Babylonian paganism and Christianity into a global new religions cited under the premise of unifying the ancient world. What's more, England's own connections with the Roman Vatican are staggering at every level, from its touted global religion all the way to finance. It was this religious Babylon that has, since its inception, resided in Rome, the same ancient city in whose power many nations sought absolution as they filled the coffers, making it more drunken than any other true church of God ever was. This aspect of religious Babylon has intoxicated herself from the blood of the martyrs over the last 2,000 years. It's the greatest clue marking her as the defiled institution existing since the time when Christians were being martyred. Through its great evils, this Babylon whore has even become rich off the blood of martyrs, using Jesus in the most evil ways as a leverage to gain such heights of majestic power. There's no way anyone can deny the many historical atrocities committed by the Roman Catholic Church in all of its horrors, inquisitions, and crusades, where they slaughtered Jews by the thousands, or any of its other forms of rampant anti-Semitism, most recently seen in their turning their backs on the European Jews as they were systematically led to slaughter by genocide in the Holocaust. And yet the face of this great evil still lives on in Rome. Rome's contemporary control over this beast was only tolerated by the Antichrist so that she could get to be used to bring her illegitimate children together in unity, so that together they may be destroyed all at once. The 10 kings will then devote all of their power, all of their authority, and all of their will to the establishment of the finalized kingdom of the Antichrist by destroying the religious aspect of Mystery Babylon. Just before this event, Revelation 18, lines 4 through 8 says that I heard another voice from heaven say, "Come out of her, my people, and don't be partakers of her sins." Space, back with more in a moment. It's a view from space. This is Talk Radio.